Hi there. My name is Nadia Qureshi. I like to consider myself as a community cross-pollinator, someone who can identify different resources and opportunities and bring them together to create a beautiful, holistic image for our community. In my current capacity, I serve as the Youth Workforce Development Coordinator, covering our northern 8 counties for Kansas Works Southeast and collaborating closely with our K through 12 system and career and technical education programs across our area of coverage. In my spare time, I'm an active community volunteer where I spend much of my time participating in creative placemaking projects, volunteering as a docent at the zoo, and serving on one of our local boards. I believe in being an active contributor to your community and leading with strengths in strategy, developer, and ideation. I really enjoy creating new materials, workshops, and topics for my students and our job seekers alike. So, I wanted to welcome you guys all today to our LifeWorks Skills Lab, where we cover a variety of workforce related topics to help empower your job search and help you navigate your next career. Today's topic is going to be Elevate Your Pitch, or impactful introductions. And since you guys have already heard my elevator pitch, I'd like to go ahead and dive right into today's topic. First of all, what is an elevator pitch? This should be a brief introduction that can be shared in about 30 seconds. So picture the time that it takes to ride from the top to the bottom of a building in an elevator. That's how long you have to make an impression. So I'm going to go in rules of three. One, your elevator pitch needs to be persuasive. Though this is not a creative writing class, this should be a persuasive writing piece, and you need to be compelling enough to leave an impression within a very short time frame. Two, you want to be informative. Whether you're marketing yourself, a product, project, or idea, you do need to give your audience enough information to buy in, whether it's to you or something that you're selling. And then three, you want to be sure to keep your elevator pitch short and sweet. Keep the conversation light and brief to ensure that you've landed the attention of your audience. And you don't want to give them your entire life's story. If they want to follow up and learn more about you, then you want to make sure to give them your information and to leave an impression, because impression is intrigue. Why do you need an elevator pitch? You want to think of your pitch as your first impression. And as many of you know, first impressions are last impressions. And by having an effective elevator pitch, you are essentially answering the interview question, tell me about yourself. So whether you are growing or building your professional network when you're out volunteering in your community or just getting active and meeting important people, whether you're applying for jobs or attending job fairs and need to make multiple impressions in a short amount of time, or if you're an entrepreneur and trying to market your goods or find investment opportunities, an elevator pitch is going to be good for many applications in your professional and personal lives. So now that you're aware that you need an elevator pitch, let's talk about what it is that you're marketing. Because depending upon what it is you're selling, your elevator pitches might sound a little different. So let's start with marketing yourself. What kind of information is necessary? Are you a job seeker or are you networking? What are your goals and intentions when you're sharing your elevator pitch? Remember that your goal is to make an impactful impression and to answer the question, tell me about yourself. Make sure that you're highlighting upon applicable skills and backing them up with relative experiences. And make sure that you're trying to command the conversation with your confidence, because nobody knows you better than you. And now, if you are marketing a project, product, or idea, you're still going to go ahead and introduce yourself and identify what your goal is. Make sure that you're tailoring your pitch and information to your audience and that you're really understanding their needs. Now, when you're marketing a project, product, or idea, you still want to introduce yourself and identify your goal. Let your audience know who you are and why you got into this business. You want to make sure that you understand your audience, that you're sharing appropriate information for the demographic that you are appealing to. You want to highlight your most applicable selling points. You can even compare your business to similar ideas or products, and you can explain why yours is better. And you also want to make sure that if you're selling a project, product, or idea, that you call your audience to action. Let them know what it is that you want from them out of this elevator pitch and interaction. And now that you've identified what it is you're marketing, let's dissect the components of an elevator pitch. You want to make sure that you're selective and including the right information that's going to solidify the impressions that you're making. So, first of all, with your introduction, you want to let people get to know you, what your goals and aspirations are, just how I related to myself as a community cross pollinator. Find powerful words to really describe what your goals and aspirations are or who you are as a person. Two, you want to go ahead and highlight any sort of relevant experiences and successes. So, whether you're new to the workforce, a career changer, you're still going to have skills that you acquire throughout your life, whether you are gaining those through extracurriculars, volunteerism, work experiences, class projects, etc. We're constantly adding to our inventory of skills and experiences. So, dig deep. And you want to explain strengths and abilities through examples. You want to use your personal and professional experiences to talk about those skills. Because again, skills are inherited at every stage of your life and pretty much every experience you have. You're exerting some sort of skills. So make sure that you're talking about those skills and relating them back to real world experiences. So that way you can attest to your own successes. And then last but not least, you want to make sure to show off just a little bit of personality. It's a very quick way to build rapport, and it helps you stay true to yourself and your experiences. It also very much helps with leaving that long-lasting impression because then they're going to remember you for you. So we're on the right track. We know what kind of information to include. But now I want to remind you that there are great ways to empower your elevator pitch. And one way by doing so is using action verbs so that you can use fewer words to make a more powerful statement. So please feel free to observe or take note of some of the action verbs that I have listed out here for you today. Or if you're wanting a larger list of action verbs, you can also go to kansasworks.com and through your job seeker account, go to our job seeker resources. You will find a copy of our job search workbook in PDF format for you to use completely for free at your convenience. And there is a page that has an entire full sheet of action verbs. So if you're needing a little bit of extra help directing your pitch or replacing some of that language, feel free to talk to us at Kansas Works or access your resources completely for free online at your own time. And now you want to make sure that you can set your hook with your elevator pitch. So really capture your audience's attention. Consider traits and skills that make you different or unique from the competition. This doesn't have to be any sort of outlandish skill. You don't have to be a Broadway star at public speaking. But feel free to ask your peers what they think your strengths are. Or if you have a skill that's maybe not very common amongst your peers or friend group, that's still something that you should highlight and put on there because not everybody is the same. So even though we might not think that we're extraordinary, ask our friends who think that we are pretty great what our strengths are and see if they can help us along. Use stories and experiences that will demonstrate your talents and applicable traits the best. And then provide contact information for future follow-up. Now, this is not like a resume where you're just going to say, here's my email, here's my number, this is the best way to reach me. Now you're going to be handing them your resume. You're going to be giving them your LinkedIn profile. You're going to be giving them a business card. You want to let them know how to follow up with you and what your intentions are at the end of the conversation. Avoid these common mistakes when delivering your elevator pitch. Don't let your nerves steal the show. You are the main course. So be mindful of your mannerisms and make sure that you practice. So first of all, make sure that we're not speaking too quickly. You're not an auctioneer, and even though your time frame is brief, you still want to make sure that you're speaking clearly so that the information can be absorbed by your audience. 2, avoid rambling or oversharing. I know it's a short window to leave that impression, but the last impression you want to leave is that you're scatterbrained. It's easy to derail in conversation, but stay on topic and lead the discussion. 3, you don't want to be too rehearsed or come across as robotic. Too much practice can lead to a monotone delivery, and you want to keep it light. So I know it sounds funny, but practice, but not too terribly much. Practice with your peers. Don't obsessively practice in front of the mirror. And then 4, you want to make sure not to restrict yourself. Because if you already have set stories, set experiences, set skills, and nothing else, you're going to be pigeonholed into a corner if the conversation steers or directs somewhere different. So make sure that you have additional topics, experiences, and skills to relate to the conversation to follow the flow. And then key takeaways from today's topic on elevator pitches. First of all, you want to keep your pitch brief and interesting. 2, highlight your personality, but don't go overboard. 3, and build confidence by practicing. And once again, practice, but don't practice too much, just so that you still sound organic, holistic, and like a real person. There's lots of different ways that you can develop and implement your elevator pitch, and we have lots of different resources available for you at completely no cost. So call or visit your local workforce center. Do peer mock interview practice with your friends, family, or workforce development professionals. You can also visit kansasworks.com to access our job seeker resources to help empower your elevator pitch, or you can use Big Interview, also through Kansas Works, to help put your elevator pitch into practice with our AI mock interview feature. Last, call or visit your local workforce center. Stop in at one of our full-time locations in Chanute, Emporia, Independence, or Pittsburgh, or you can also visit us at our satellite locations in Iola and Fort Scott. Our regular hours of operation are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we break daily from 1 to 2 for lunch. On Thursdays, we have a late start at 9 a.m., but we very much hope that you will come in and see us so that we can help elevate your pitch. And thank you so much for joining us for another LifeWork Skills Lab, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.